I'm Anita McLaren from the Black Sticks hockey team, and I'm joined here by Mark Stafford from the TAB, who's got a great offer for us.
I have, and what it is, if you're a hockey fan, which you are clearly because you're watching this, if you haven't got a TAB account, download our app, really simple, and deposit $20. And when you do that, put in the code HOCKEY, and what happens then is we will match that $20, so your balance will be $40, and we'll give Hockey New Zealand $20 as well.
Wow, that's a pretty cool offer. So if you start up a new account, deposit $20, the TAB will give you $20 and also give Hockey New Zealand an extra $20.
That's right, and so what they can do with that is develop grounds like this all around the country, develop the youth. Hockey's a growing game, that's why we're behind it. We love it. Hope you have some fun.
Coverage of the Pioneer Energy Tri-Nations Women's Hockey is presented by Pioneer Energy, Central Otago District Council, TAB, and Vantage Windows and Doors.
Welcome into coverage of the Pioneer Energy Tri-Nations Women's International Hockey, coming to you this afternoon from Cromwell in Central Otago. It's a chilly old day in the deep south, about 8 degrees here for the final between New Zealand and Australia. The two teams that met just a few weeks ago on the Gold Coast in the Commonwealth Games final. New Zealand taking that one out, but Australia looking to turn the tables before they head into the World Cup in England in just a couple of months' time. A good capacity crowd building up here, about 2,000 people here at the Pioneer Energy Turf in Cromwell. It's the most inland settlement of anywhere in New Zealand, and the Australians, after 9 days of action, have finished top of the round robin section. New Zealand last night in a nail-biter against Japan. They got home in a penalty shootout to earn their way into today's final, but you can see quite clearly that Australia go into today's match as the warm favourites. The TAB with $1.70, New Zealand at $3.50, the draw at $4. I'm Paul Allison, joining me this afternoon in Radio Sport Extra commentary, along with live streaming on the Vantage Black Sticks website and the TAB Facebook website, also the New Zealand Herald website this afternoon. I've got Regan Bain and Paul Durnham. Paul, of course, former member of the Black Sticks and an assistant coach of the women's team. Regan tied up with Southern Hockey. It was a nail-biter last night, Regan. Many people are saying it could well have been a fixed match because New Zealand coming through in the dream final here in Central Otago.
Oh, who would have thought, Paul? Who would have thought? Kiwis pulling it out, 9 seconds to go. Pulling out a pin is massive. And she's been rewarded today with a start, so it'll be another big game for the girls in black today.
Well, she was very good in the penalty, in the goal last night in that penalty shootout. Is that what's earned her a start today?
I think it must be. I was talking to Shiloh Gloin at the end of the game, and she just said she loves it. She works on the homework. She knows all the players, all their moves. We've seen her do it at the Gold Coast. We saw her do it last night, so she'll be in for a big one today, I feel.
It's reached a high of 9 degrees, probably the warmest it's been for these women since they've been here in 9 days of action. It started last Saturday. There's been fantastic crowds right throughout, but it's very windy this afternoon. What sort of impact will that have on the game?
Oh, I think the Australians think they're back at home. They played -3 on Wednesday night, snow falling. But no, it's been an amazing week so far. Cromwell has put it on for us. Central Otago Hockey done a fantastic job. And I think today the wind's going to play a lot with the aerial ball. So the wind will be going from right to left. So the Australians will have it at their back to start with. So we'll look to use the aerial ball early on today, I feel.
Two teams coming out onto the field now, a couple of milestones where we will see those being recognised. And one of those is for the Australian captain, Emily Smith. She's an absolute superstar, 25 years of age, born in a place called I've got here in Cromwell. And today it'll be her 200th match. She has been a real star in the side since she made her debut for the Hockey Roos against New Zealand in Hobart in 2011. She was the youngest member of the Australian team that went to the London Olympics in 2012, and the other person recognised through it, and certainly a promising player. We're waiting now for the national anthems of both teams as the sun beats down here in Cromwell. Both teams lined up in front of the main pavilion. Temporary seating all the way around the ground here. Of course, New Zealand beating Australia in somewhat of an upset at the Commonwealth Games. And here is Emily Smith. She moved to Sydney in 2011 before she moved across to Perth in Western Australia, where she now lives. Her 200th cap for Australia today. And this is where Frances Davies will be recognised for her 50th cap this afternoon. And she's getting that presentation from the New Zealand coach, the standard New Zealand coach today, Sean Dancer. Well, he's been standard all tournament really, Regan, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Mark Hager's taken a backward seat this week, but all in the hope of that World Cup glory. Only 6 weeks away. That's the main focus here for both teams.
And interesting in this Tri-Nations with Japan exiting out last night in sensational fashion. These three teams all end up in the same pool in England in just a couple of months' time. How coincidental is that?
Yeah, exactly. I think the secrets will be kept close to the heart today, but if we just tune into the national anthem of Australia here.
Australia warm favourites for this match in the Commonwealth Games. Good round of applause for the Australians. One of the top sporting teams in the world over the last 30 years. Of course, 3 times gold medalist at the Olympic Games. New Zealand still looking for their first medal, finishing 4th in Rio. Here's the New Zealand national anthem. Plenty of support here at the Pioneer Energy Turf in Cromwell for the New Zealand Vantage Black Sticks.
As we bring in for the first time this afternoon, Paul Durham. Paul, who do you think is going to play a key role for New Zealand today?
Well, we saw it late in yesterday's half where McLaren got a little bit more space and time on the ball, and she's obviously a really big key. She'll be looking to bring the ball forward with real pace and vigour and trying to hook up with the rest of her strikers inside that 23. Didn't quite get it right early on in the game yesterday, so that'll be a big thing they're looking to improve on in today's game.
Yeah, I think New Zealand will take some lessons from the first part of that game yesterday, but if we look at the Australian lineup on screen.
So the Australians have got a very experienced lineup indeed. We talked about their captain, who's there in shirt number 26, Emily Smith, her 200th match this afternoon for Australia, but they've also got plenty of other Centurions as well, with Paris and Hertz, Wells, Kenny, the highest goal scorer in Australian history, Jodie Kenny, 103 goals she has scored. And here's the New Zealand lineup. Look for Anita McLaren. She's also the highest goal scorer in New Zealand women's hockey history. Made a debut back in 2009, closing in on the record of most games for New Zealand today. Her 264th appearance. Look for Olivia Mary. She's already scored 3 goals in this competition. And as we heard earlier, Grace O'Hanlon will start in the goalkeeper position.
As we look to see our officials today we've got Kelly Hudson from New Zealand, Chiko Soma from from Japan, along with Emily Carroll, our reserve umpire. Our judges are Sandra Stewart and Jonathan Young. Vicky Allen is our technical officer for today.
So the TAB in New Zealand with odds of this match. Australia warm favourites. New Zealand will play into the breeze and the sun in the first half, which is beaming down here with the snow-capped mountains around the outside of this artificial hockey turf, which was set up back in 1998. The surface here is exactly the same as what the girls played on in Rio. And a game is underway with Australia.
So Olivia Mary makes a really good stop there with the aerial ball.
So Ashley Fay moves it upfield. This is Emily Smith. Good work into Emily Hertz.
New Zealand get a reprieve there, the free head out. Brooke Neal looked to use that killer sweep foot again today.
That overhead as well, I'd imagine, to clear some danger when she needs to.
Great story about her. Her brother also Shay in the New Zealand men's team, and her auntie.
Here for the love of the game, aren't we? Brooke and Shay Neal. New Zealand stalwarts, both the men and the female teams.
Whangarei, great breeding ground for New Zealand hockey.
So we see the ball come wide here to Shiloh Gloin. We've got a shot off.
Oh, good save.
Brilliant save.
Good work from Ashley Wells.
Good first early shot off there from Shiloh Gloin. Make sure the keeper's awake.
So New Zealand through. Goes bigging.
Shiloh Gloin again, asking the questions. She made that amazing penalty corner run yesterday, didn't she, PD? One to watch, Shiloh Gloin.
Yeah, definitely. Yesterday it was just a case of not giving up, and it wasn't the prettiest of things, but it turned out incredibly well for the Black Sticks and resulted in a goal. And we see the Black Sticks putting some early pressure on here again, which is really good to see early on in the game.
So here's the half
settling
centurion.
down process teams go through in the first 5 minutes. And yeah, both teams are settling in.
3 minutes gone in the first quarter. Here in Cromwell, and a chance for Australia. Christina Bates.
It's a very good jab tackle in midfield there by Rose Cadell. Not losing her feet, staying involved. It's the way to do it.
So Cadell still with the ball under control, looking for support now. Goes to Brooke Neal
Brilliant
at
ball
the back.
by Brooke Neal.
Here's Ella Gunson, the captain. Oh, no. Australia clear.
Asking the questions at Ashley Wells early here, Paul.
Yes,
Things
they
are
are.
coming.
It's a good start from New Zealand. They're putting the early pressure on as Taryn Davey moves the ball wide, and New Zealand with a chance once more, but
Free hit not quite gone 5 metres there. Australia get the reprieve out of defence.
coming up 5 minutes gone in the first quarter. Still no score here in the final of the Tri-Nations between Australia and New Zealand. Coming on for Australia is Kalindi Comaford, who's already got 2 goals in this tournament already. In the round robin that featured Japan, who were sensationally beaten by New Zealand last night in the playoff for the final today. Here's Cadell. Back to Neal.
Finds McLaren there in the midfield. She works a free hit. We push in the back there. Umpire Chico all over that. Nice and early. As they find Tuilo Talava in midfield. First international tournament this week.
Her parents were down here last week cheering her on. Just 21. So Hertz with the ball. Some pressure from Smith.
Australia look to attack down that right-hand baseline.
So Lily Brazil.
Good press there by Olivia Mary. PD, how important is the screen going to play for the New Zealand team today?
He's
It's
Ashley
essential. They got caught out a few times against Japan early on yesterday's game, and so they need to tighten that up, especially through the midfield. And interesting so far, looks like the Black Sticks have sort of employed like a bit of a half-court press, which means they'll be looking to tighten up the midfield and turn the ball over there rather than higher up the field. Here's an exit out here. Australians sort of doing the same, turned over in the midfield here. Out to an overlapping wing half, finding a bit of space out wide.
So this is Eddie Bone, Edwina Bone. 154th appearance for her this afternoon for the Hockey Roos, as Australia appealing.
Yeah, onto the foot there. Bobbled up there, went in for the tackle and just popped up onto the foot. Good reward for circle entry. That's the same sort of position where the Japan team made some headway early in yesterday's game. So
7
sure
minutes
they've
gone in the
spoken
first.
about it.
7 minutes gone in the first quarter. No score. There's a chance for Australia now to put on some real pressure.
First set piece of the game. Paul Goodwin will be wanting his conversion rates up, especially leading into a World Cup. So we have the injection from Australia.
Shot on goal.
Good save by Grace O'Hanlon. We've got a penalty stroke there. Is that taking a body on the line? If we see the replay, we might get a wee view of that. Ella Gunson is questioning that one, whether the keeper was behind the play. But nevertheless, umpire Kiko has awarded a stroke.
So a penalty stroke here for Australia. And it's in. First goal for Australia. The Hockey Roos are on the board. They lead 1-0 against the Vantage Black Sticks here in Cromwell. Good conversion by Jodie Kenny. She made a debut back in 2011. Of course, she's married to Shane Kenny, a fellow hockey player. Plenty of noise now for the Black Sticks, with the Hockey Roos 1-0 up.
Yeah, of course, Paul, that stroke awarded for hitting the body on the line after Grace O'Hanlon was beaten. So a penalty stroke is the only option that can be taken there. And Kenny converted.
So a chance for Harrison down the left wing.
Good piece of stick skill there by Sam Harrison. Look to use that bag of tricks.
A good defence from the Australians. They'll come into this final with a lot of confidence. Even though they got beaten in Australia in the final of the Commonwealth Games, they played so well during the course of the week. It was an upset when they got beaten by Japan, but you almost sense that they knew they were in the final. It didn't really have a lot counting on that match.
Yeah, they played well the other night against Japan. Japan were just able to grit them down, wear them down, both on defence and the attacking end. But now Australia will bring in that confidence. They've got those young players in there. Rosie Malone only just made the international squad 2 weeks ago. She'll be looking to have another big game today. First international goals this week.
So a chance here for New Zealand. Inside the 23. Tuilota Lava.
We look to transfer the ball. Yeah.
Gunson, Neal. But Australia will break away.
Good tackle there by Stephanie Dickens.
Kershaw still after her, but can't grab it. Francis Davies with the shot upfield. This is Carrie McMahon.
Vantage Black Sticks just have to keep disciplined here. They lost a couple of players to the bin yesterday. Got to be careful at this part of the field.
Well, you get a sense that Australia are wanting to play an up-tempo game at the moment, and they're just getting on top of the Black Sticks.
Yeah, that's right, Paul. That's Australia's way to play. Fast, smash hockey.
So 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Australia 1, New Zealand 0. The final of the Pioneer Energy Tri-Nations.
As Rosie Cadell turns the ball over there in brilliant field position. What can Maddie Dawn make of it? She's into the circle. Oh, umpire Hudson maybe held on to her whistle there just for another second. Anyway, Vantage Black Sticks have got the ball.
So the captain,
Time
Alec
off
Gunson.
here. Kelly just making sure the ball's played in the right area.
191st game for Gunson this afternoon, just 28 years of age. But Australia clear away nicely. Tuilotalava. Here's Neil.
Finds Dickens out wide.
But the intercept from Australia. So Dickens restarts.
Cadell turns the ball over in midfield there.
Paris.
Australia look to come through the counter attack.
Here's Emily Hertz. And New Zealand will break away.
Taryn Davey, very well done there. A bit of trickery there as well.
Yeah, lovely
So
work. Here's a chance for
Mary.
Yeah, here's
There
Mary.
are 3 strikers in the circle, 3-on-1.
She's going to go herself.
Kayla Curtis. Oh. Ashley Wells did pretty well in goal there to squash that one, didn't she, PD?
Yeah, she did. She came out and smothered it. Good opportunity, though. There was 2 free black sticks in the circle there. We just couldn't quite link up with them.
Lovely
But,
breakout.
good attack. Now turns around and Australia are hot on the attack. That's how quickly hockey can change.
Lovely work from Kershaw, just putting some real pressure down the side. And a chance now for the restart from Edwina Bone.
That'll be New Zealand's top opportunity of the half there, Paul.
Yes,
Maddie
it
Dorr
was.
on that right post. Couldn't quite squeeze the ball through Wells' pads.
Well, you've got Olivia Mary, who's already got 3 goals in this tournament already. And you got the sense that maybe she was thinking about going herself.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? But New Zealand have the ball on the sideline here, so we'll look to put on a pretty high and aggressive press here. We see Kelsey Smith pushing up. Australia pretty smartly exit the ball. Brilliant defensive work there by Anita McLaren.
Yeah, she's into everything, isn't she?
Oh,
Anita McLaren, 264th match for the Black Sticks today, closing in on the record of 274 by Emily Gaddam. So here is the Australians, 1-0 up, closing in at the final minutes of the first quarter.
it's off Cadell's stick. Couldn't quite get the last 50-50 touch there.
Renee Taylor,
Right.
nice pass away, out wide to Rosie Malone. But the Australians couldn't take full advantage of that, and the Black Sticks will restart. Just struggling to find the players that they're passing to at the moment.
Just lost our way a wee bit with the structure through the midfield. It was there to start, just lost it a wee bit here in the end of the first quarter. But there'll be something Sean Dancer will talk about at quarter time, I'm sure.
Here's a chance for Australia.
Recycled well by Taryn Davey. You look to use punt down the right-hand channel again. Sorry, McLaren.
McLaren. Of course, she was married to Scott McLaren, former New Zealand decathlete. And here's Tuilotalava coming on as a sub for New Zealand.
Michaela Curtis looks to make something in that corner. Over Australia survive.
Into the last minute here in the first quarter in Cromwell. It's the Pioneer Energy Tri-Nations Women's Hockey International. First time international hockey has been played in this part of the world. turf was transferred from a sand turf to a water-based turf just 2 years ago.
Grace O'Hanlon looks to make something of it here. Shadow the ball out for a 16. Well done there by Grace.
Probably the last play of the first quarter. Australia with a shot on goal, just wide. Very windy, but relatively warm compared to the icy conditions these girls have had to play in over the preceding 7 or 8 days.
Sure is, Paul. Sure is.
So there's the end of the first quarter, and the Hockey Roos take a 1-0 lead into the break, and you'd have to say it's probably a deserved lead at this stage. And the Black Sticks, they won't want to concede the next goal because it just makes that uphill climb that little bit steeper.
Yeah, New Zealand started off pretty well, I thought, in the first 5 minutes, but just lost their way a wee bit through the second half of that first quarter. And obviously Australia awarding a stroke 9 times out of 10, as we saw yesterday by Olivia Mary. They're scored, aren't they, PD?
Yeah, definitely. You'd always back yourself in a penalty stroke situation. It's interesting to note that the Black Sticks have actually pushed up 2 strikers high today. They didn't do that until late in the last quarter in yesterday's game, which resulted in them getting a couple of goals late in the game. And they've done that early in the piece today, so that's obviously a bit more of an attacking mindset they've come with today, and it's great. So that should open up a bit more space in the midfield for McLaren to bring the ball forward. But like you say, they do just need to make those connections a little bit earlier and look to find those strikers inside that circle. And when they actually get into that circle, get really hungry low and have a real want to put that ball in the back of the net.
Well, pretty calm inside the New Zealand camp. Not too much animation from the coaching staff.
No, they won't panic, Paul. After we saw yesterday, 3 goals in 4 minutes. It can be done. So as we get ready for the second quarter, New Zealand will look to push forward aggressive here, I feel. Look to put the pressure back on Australia.
The only goal in that first quarter scored by the Australians to their top goal scorer of all time, Jodie Kenny. And the restart will be the Hockey Roos captain, Emily Smith, to get things underway in the second quarter.
So we see Olivia Mary and Rose Cadell looking to put the pressure on straight away there off the hit-off. That's well done there by Frances Davies.
Yeah, she's having a good game to celebrate her 50th this afternoon.
She's had a good week, Paul. She's been a stalwart at the back, her and Brooke Neal.
So Australia just showing some patience here.
Good touch there by Cadell to turn the ball over to Anita McLaren.
Yeah, and here's McLaren. Every time she gets the ball, something looks to be on. She just seems to ignite things. Shiloh Gluin into the circle, but the Australians have got a chance to break out. Hurts down the right-hand side.
Well done there by Frances Davies, just staying on her feet, not being engaged in that tackle too early to get eliminated there. Very well done piece of defending there.
Faye back to Bone. So Edwina Bone, young lady born in Orange in New South Wales, but just a bit too far. 1-0, New Zealand lead Australia into the second minute of the second quarter.
Good open receive there from Rose Cadell, finding Davis down this left-hand half.
Here's Shiloh Gluin.
Oi, what have we got there? Nothing there.
Apart
Just a
from a
free
hockey
hit.
stick that's gone wild.
Glenn wins a free hit though.
So it'll be Davies that'll take it. Looking for Gluin. But Australia have it covered on their own goal line. And Rosie Malone taking it away for the Australians, but has lost it to Rose Cadell.
Very good exit play there from the Australians as they look to move the ball upfield through Rosie Malone.
And here's Smith.
Brilliant ball from Rose Malone there.
But getting back is Stephanie Dickens for the Black Sticks.
Good quick free hit there. Get that counter-attack rolling.
There's Gloin once more. Cross to Cadell.
Nita McLaren. Back to Cadell.
Here's a chance. Dickens.
Stephanie Dickens, ball across.
Appeal.
Yeah, she's got that. Sam Harrison, well done. Got a good piece of a deflection there on goal. Ball come back out. It's hit her in the body, so that'll be a penalty corner to New Zealand.
I think New Zealand will be reasonably pleased how they've started the opening 3 minutes of the second quarter. They're certainly right in this match. And they need to make opportunities like these count.
Yeah, exactly. Penalty corners are a big part of the game these days, so New Zealand will look to use this penalty corner to their advantage. They have the same setup as yesterday, so got Brooke Neal and Olivia Mary on this narrow bracket, and then Anita McLaren on the far bracket with the drag flick. We'll see where we're going to go. Comes out to McLaren.
And McLaren on goal.
She's got a touch. Well done. Sam Harrison with the diving deflection there. Brilliantly executed play. 1-1.
So New Zealand have tied it up at 1-1. Samantha Harrison gets her third goal of this tournament, the first of the final.
As we watch the replay here, you see the ball injected. Cadell trapped at the top. Nice drag along the ground, straight to Sam Harrison, who gets that deflection back of the goal. 1-0.
Well, that's just the start New Zealand needed for the second quarter. Come back to halfway for the restart from the Australians. Tuilota Lava takes down a high one and puts some real pressure inside the 23 now.
It's come out to Mary. We've got the ball across. Oh, just past Sam Harrison's stick there.
Here she was waiting. Just couldn't quite execute.
How happy do you think Sean Dancer will be after that start there, Paul?
Yeah, that's a great start to the second quarter. What's happened is the Black Sticks have stretched it out, and they're getting some really good exits from the back three, and making some real inroads through the middle there, and looking really dangerous down their inside left flank there. Looking really good. They'll want to just keep marching forward here and doing much of the same.
Australia look to attack through their skipper, Emily Smith.
So Smith back here to Brazil and then passes forward, but the Black Sticks will take it out.
Australia through Bates with the reverse shot across the face. Lotalava cleans it up.
So the New Zealand team will be selected next week for the World Cup. The Australians aren't selecting theirs for another 3 weeks' time. So this tournament, a chance for the selectors to have a real look on the squad members they've got. Here's a chance for Australia, but New Zealand managed to clear it away.
Frances Davey putting her body on the line there. Very well done. But exactly, Paul. Last chance for the Vantage Black Sticks to press their claims to Mark Hagan as selectors. So Mark has not been coaching this week and focusing on that World Cup selection team.
Yeah, it's a tough call because they've rested 3 or 4 players for this, just to be able to give some new faces an opportunity. And I guess players like Louisa Tuilota-Lava, who's been impressive. We've seen her out here, just her first tournament for New Zealand. Does she force her way into that World Cup squad?
Yeah, she's had a bloody good week, hasn't she? No, the selectors have rested a lot of players for this week, so no Stacey Milkerson, no Liz Thompson. Those stalwarts from that Commonwealth Games side. And, you know, the players that have been in and out of the side, the Michaela Curtises, as we see us, Kelsey Smith.
Great breakout from Smith here.
Great ball forward, just out of reach.
Olivia Mary just not able to get it on that occasion, but New Zealand look dangerous when they break out. The subs come on once more. Davies on for New Zealand.
But no, the point of this week is to, you know, push the claim forward for that World Cup squad. So Michaela Curtis and Kim Tanner have been in and out of the side, not at the Gold Coast tournament, but able to still try and press a claim for the big day next week.
So Kirsten Pearce just loses possession, and bringing it out is Rosie Malone. Moving it across wide to Grace Stewart. Another one of the youngsters in the side. Closing in on her 50th appearance as well. Just 21 years of age. Made her debut in 2016 for Australia. So here's New Zealand. 1-1 into the second quarter. We've got 8 minutes remaining. Here in the beautiful central Otago of Cromwell. Transferred from a sand-based turf to a water-based turf just 2 years ago. And an opportunity to showcase that to the international teams around the world, with Japan exiting out last night in sensational fashion, and New Zealand.
It's brilliantly done there by Kelsey Smith.
Yeah, good work from Smith from that high ball. Australia look very organised inside the defensive circle, though, don't they?
It is something they pride themselves on, is their defence, the Australians. But no, they are very organised back there.
So here's Davies. Francis Davies, born in Rotorua. The ball's moved across. Madison Dorr, not able to control it, and Australia. Chance to clear some of the pressure that's been exerted on them by the Australians. Midway through the second quarter, it's 1-1. New Zealand, Australia. Australia scored first. New Zealand replied.
It's a brilliant facility here in Cromwell, isn't it, Paul? Brand new turf, new pavilion.
And one of the features this week, of course, has been the outstanding crowd support that this tournament has captured the imagination of the locals who haven't seen international sport on their back doorstep before.
No, exactly. The community's come well here together this week. The Central Otago Hockey Association and the Central Otago Sports Turf they've had a vision, and it's come through, hasn't it? There's an amazing crowd of over 2,000 people here today, so well done to the Central Otago community for coming together and making this happen.
Here's Kenny, the goal scorer from the penalty stroke in the first quarter.
New Zealand just look to keep their discipline there. It's a pretty average tackle, but got away with it.
200 caps Jodie Kenny brought up in her last match against Japan. But here's New Zealand with a chance to put some pressure on. Tui Lotalava, the youngster, up the right-hand side.
Brilliant ball from Rose Cadell there. Sam Harrison with a ball in. Oh, Maddie Dorr just can't quite get on the end of that one.
New Zealand are creating chances, though. And I think they'll get a lot of confidence from that because they're putting some pressure on. This is a much better quarter than what they had in the opening first 15 minutes.
It is. They're asking a lot more questions of that Australian defence. That counter-attack is working through Cadell, through McLaren and Toi Lotalava there in the midfield.
So Kershaw, pressurised by Gloin. So here's Australia through Kershaw.
Good tackle there by Brooke Neal.
Just a deflection there from New Zealand through their captain, Ella Gunson.
So we just hear Kelsey Smith expressing her gratitude at that call, so that'll be another 50 cents in the jar as well.
10 minutes gone in the second quarter. It's all tied up, 1-1, the final between New Zealand, the Vantage Black Sticks, and the Australian Hockey Roos. So, Ashley Fay.
It's a brilliant ball in the way, Ashley Fay. The deception of the sweep hit. As we hear from Sean Dancer to get out, not sit back. It's the key in this situation, isn't it, Paul? You don't want to sit back in your own 23, not put pressure on those back four.
No, it's important. You've got to come forward and be aggressive on them and basically cut down the space that you give them. And you take a player's space away and it makes it very difficult to get through there.
So to the fence here by Ashley Fay, just looking for support in centre field. She's found it in the form of Kalindi Comerford. But she's lost it, and New Zealand will take it away through the captain, Gunson.
Brilliant
Some
ball
pressure
from
here
Gunson.
now.
Got a shot. Oh, not quite off. We got under the keeper there. Can we get a shot off? Sam Harrison.
Well, it was a real bottleneck.
Wowee.
inside the circle, and New Zealand will continue to apply the pressure.
Davies will look to just transfer the ball around. See if we can, not quite there from Maddie Dorr. She's getting in good positions there, getting on that far post, looking for that deflection.
So Maddie Dorr, the youngster, just 18 years of age, has scored 1 goal during the course of the week here in this tournament. Of course, New Zealand went down 4-1 and 3-0 when they played previously against Australia. So that's why Australia have come into this match as warm favourites. But New Zealand, they're giving as good as they get at the moment. 1-1 as Anita McLaren back onto the field for New Zealand. And also Michaela Curtis coming on as the rolling subs continue. And for Australia, Renee Taylor on.
Yeah, that 3-0 result earlier in the week wasn't quite the story of the game though, Paul, was it? Because New Zealand had taken their keeper off when they were down 2-0, and it didn't quite work that day, but it was the opposite here last night. We took the keeper off, down by 2 goals. 2 amazing goals as seen here on the live stream through Hockey New Zealand's Facebook page.
You roll the dice when you do that, but it's sort of desperate measures for desperate times, really. So here's a chance now for Australia through Lily Brazel.
Brilliant turnover there by Rose Cadell. She'll look to find Olivia Mary.
Oh, here's a chance for
Brilliant
Mary.
trap from Olivia.
1-on-1 for Mary.
Keeper. What can we get?
Mary, good stop from the keeper for Australia.
Ashley Wales, well done. Didn't really have any other options there, did she?
So
Paul, as we look at the replay.
Here's Emily Smith coming in. But Mary.
Michaela Curtis on the left-hand shoulder. They're not quite there, but it's a chance. It's a chance gone bigging.
Yeah, New Zealand certainly had the better of the second quarter, where they've created more chances than the Hockeyroos. Just haven't been able to convert, apart from that 1 goal that was scored by Sam Harrison.
Brilliant aerial ball out of defence there from Brooke Neal.
So Australia, limited chances in this quarter. But as we close in the last 2 minutes before half-time, the Australians have a chance to put some more pressure on the New Zealand team.
Francis Davies affecting the turnover there.
Cloud coming over here in Cromwell, rain threatening, the wind starting to whip up as well.
No,
and here's a chance for Australia.
Rosie,
it's not over yet.
Another shot off for Rosie Malone, and it's in! It's in!
What a goal!
Wow. Rosie Malone. Wasn't quite cleared off Grace O'Hanlon's post. Tried to pad that one wide, and it's gone in as we watch the replay here. So that first shot in, has come back out. Straight back to Malone there again, who doesn't want a second chance.
Well, she's been impressive. She's the least experienced of any of the Australians coming into this match with just 7 previous appearances. At 21 years of age, the young lass born in Burleigh Heads in Queensland. And what a vital time to strike. Right on the half-time break, less than a minute to go, Australia. The Hockeyroos lead the Vantage Black Sticks by 2-1.
New Zealand might want to look at that one again on the replay, will they, Paul?
No, and probably looked like they had that one covered actually for the majority of the time. But yeah, it just shows if you get that shot on goal and anything can happen. You know, it's fair to say it was probably against the run of play. Yeah, the Black Sticks have had a lot more possession in the second half and the second quarter, sorry, and looking to sort of really dominate and get on top of the Australians. And yeah, to let one in just before half time, it's a bit of a shame.
It's commentator's curse, really. I've just finished saying that here's New Zealand dominating the second quarter. They're getting on top, creating more opportunities, and against the run of play, Australia go back into the front.
As we see Christina Bates just coming off here, just a wee head knock there, so I'd say she'll be off for HIA. She's already had a broken nose this week. She copped a back of the stick on Tuesday night, I think it was. She's got nice big black eyes.
So last chance for the Black Sticks. Here's McLaren.
Brilliant ball. Brilliant ball. Shot off.
Oh,
great
good save.
Shot. Olivia Mary. Then going to look to use this one quickly through Rose Cadell. So we tick down to 20 seconds to go in the quarter. Want to make something of this. Not quite, and Australia will not be in a hurry to...
Now they'll use all their experience to use up those final seconds of the second quarter. They won't want to let the Black Sticks back in with just seconds remaining. So Davies, on her 50th appearance, will restart. And there's the hooter, the siren for half-time. And at half-time, it's the Australian Hockey Roos who lead the Vantage Black Sticks by 2-1, somewhat against the run of play, Regan, in that second quarter. What do the Australians have to do now? Kick on?
Yeah, I think that's the key here, Paul. Sean Dancer will not be happy with that second goal. Looked like Grace O'Hanlon had it covered on that far post, but not to be. New Zealand definitely had the better chances in that half, but it's the game of hockey. Things change.
So goal to Jodie Kenny in the first quarter saw the Australian Hockey Roos take the lead into the end of the first quarter break by 1-0, but then the reply for New Zealand by Samantha Harrison, and then just before the half-time break, Rosie Malone gets one back for Australia, and at half-time here in Cromwell, it is the Hockey Roos 2, the Vantage Black Sticks 1.
Hi, I'm Anita McLaren from the Black Sticks hockey team, and I'm joined here by Mark Stafford from the TAB, who's got a great offer for us.
I have, and what it is, if you're a hockey fan, which you are clearly because you're watching this, if you haven't got a TAB account, download our app, really simple, and deposit $20. And when you do that, put in the code HOCKEY, and what happens then is we will match that $20, so your balance will be $40, and we'll give Hockey New Zealand $20 as well.
Well, that's a pretty cool offer. So if you start up a new account, deposit $20, the TAB will give you $20 and also give Hockey New Zealand an extra $20.
That's right, and so what they can do with that is develop grounds like this all around the country, develop the youth. Hockey's a growing game, that's why we're behind it. We love it. Hope you have some fun.
I think the best thing is coming out here and just riding on your own and just looking around and just soaking in the view, and that sort of calms you down and you forget about your worries. I'm Phil Oliver. I'm a local here in Alexandra. I've been here about 25 years or so. Originally moved here from Auckland. Just really sick of the rat race, and so we moved south with my wife and young kids. In the central Otago area, the Alexandria area, there's so much scope and different aspects of riding to suit different people. You've got your sort of the brevet type guys doing their things out there, the cycle tourists, your flowy, rivery trails, and you've also got those real sort of technical trail, mountain bike, downhill trails and free ride trails. This is a new area we've just started developing. It's called Flat Top Hill. This is a dock area, so we signed a management agreement with the local bike club and have been building a trail access up here, and we're starting to use a lot of this big rock features, and we have a geological advantage with these rocks that are around us, as you'll see here. They make nice features to ride on. You can have nice rock rollers and little step downs and little sort of chutes and things to go through. So that's what makes us a bit unique to anywhere else that I've ridden in New Zealand. And the views up here are, magnificent. When I'm out riding here, Basically, it's just a space. I can come out here and get some space, and I think a lot when I ride. Just sort of thinking how lucky I am to be able to get up here and ride this. That's the best part.
We try to use as much local produce as possible and also to support our neighbors and support the communities. My name is Paulina Corbalan. We are at Paulina's restaurant in Clyde. The product here is just so good. It's nice to have the product to come that when you know the supplier and it comes from the ground to the plate and have a connection with the dish.
We love to focus on the local products around our area. New Zealand is a very special place with the climate that we have. The produce, fish and the meat is just absolutely second to none. Hi, I'm Quentin Quiter from Wild Earth Wines. We're at the Goldfields Mining Center in beautiful central Otago, located in the Kawarau Gorge. All our food is cooked in wine barrel cookers. So all our dishes are actually quite natural and match specifically to one of our award-winning wines.
You know, the good thing about Central Otago region is that, you know, you can source all sorts of different things, you know, from fresh herb, you know, rabbits, lamb, from a beautiful wine, grapes, fruit, you know, everything is here. Hello guys, I'm Armando Varlotto from Italy. I came here in New Zealand in 2009. I used to live in London for 15 years. I had my own business there. So then in about 2011, I opened, you know, Armando's Kitchen. We tried to sort of introduce a bit of Italian flavor in Central Otago, bringing some, you know, something traditional, but as well utilizing, you know, a beautiful part of the world, and as well the ingredients. And
I'm always inspired with fresh, so flavors can speak for themselves sometimes, and I think we have a lot of produce around this area that makes our cooking quite easy, really.
At Sentinel, we love building family homes. We know that a well-designed home can help bring your family together. How do we know? We've built hundreds of them, every one unique to the family that built it. Give us a call and we'll help you design and build a home that fits your family. Sentinel Homes. Design, build, enjoy.
Welcome back to the action here in Cromwell at the Pioneer Energy all-weather turf, and I was going to say it's all-weather conditions because the sunshine has disappeared, the clouds have rolled in, and that wind has started to whip up, and it's become quite chilly here in the Central Otago capital of Cromwell, with the Hockeyroos leading the Black Sticks by 2-1 after the first two quarters. Before we get underway in the third quarter, that first quarter, Jodie Kenny for Australia got the penalty stroke and took a 1-0 lead in to the end of the first quarter.
As we see the New Zealand goal here, From a penalty corner, we have the ball come out to McLaren with the flickle on the ground. Sam Harrison, diving deflection. Brilliant penalty corner goal.
And that tied it up at 1-1, and then just closing in towards the end of the second quarter, Australia through the youngster, Rosie Malone, shot on goal, and in it goes for...
Head off that right-hand post there from Grace O'Hanlon, but as you see, Maddie Dorr with a brilliant ball across to start the second half here. New Zealand asking the questions already, Paul. You're going to have to come out pretty fast here, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. I think the Black Sticks will look to put a lot higher press on the Australians this time around. They need to turn the ball over and really get the ball forward and into that circle early and look to take their chances. The key was in that second quarter for the Black Sticks was the amount of possession that they were able to get, probably 70-30 sort of split by my sort of reckoning, and yeah, they took advantage of holding on to the ball and got reward. Fortunately, they just let one in at the end there.
Here's Emily Smith trying to ignite something for Australia, but it comes to nothing.
As the lights come on here in Cromwell, it's getting dark and gloomy here, but the Black Sticks, they won't phase them, will it, Paul?
Well, it won't phase them because they had the better of that second quarter. They just weren't able to capitalise on some of the opportunities that they created, so they'll be conscious of that. They would have talked about that at half-time.
It's a brilliant right hand.
Here's Taryn Davey. Taryn Davey, the 22-year-old, up the right-hand side. Looks for the cross. Deflects in off Jodie Kenny. Still there for Davey. Mary in there as well. But Australia look like they're going to safely clear it away. Yeah, she's a very experienced player, isn't she?
Frances Davies will just let that one roll over the baseline. Her 16 hit. Black Sticks will just look to throw the ball around, get McLaren back in the game. Rose Cadell.
Yeah, I don't think Anita McLaren's been in the match as much as probably they would have liked to have involved her in this match, because she really does spark things up. Here's a chance now for Australia through
in the circle there
into the centre. So here's Edwina Bone, 30 years of age, 154th game for the Hockeyroos this afternoon, as she finds support in Jodie Kenny.
See Olivia Mary putting in the yards there, trying to put that pressure on that Australian fullback.
Here's Kenny finding Bone again. And across the face of the goal for New Zealand now to clear.
Come through McLaren again. Through to Davey up this right-hand touchline. Brilliant ball there to Maddie Dorr. She's got the pace.
Just overran it initially, but
she's got a free hit out of it. Look to reset through Taryn Davey. She'll look to use Ella Gunson here. Not quite trapped there though.
Just couldn't quite control it, and gives Australia the opportunity to break away through Stewart.
Fitzpatrick as well there. She's had another good week, the Fitzpatrick girls. Savannah.
They call her Sav, they tell me. I don't know whether that's what she likes to drink or whether that's just a shortened name for Savannah.
She's in the right region, isn't she, Paul?
She is, as Brooke Paris has some pressure inside the New Zealand circle, but come back to the 23 for Kari McMahon.
Missed trap there by Brooke Neal, giving Australia a chance. Just not quite yet on the end of that one, Grace Stewart. New Zealand will look to exit here, but as we see Australia, 7 defenders and attackers in the 23, making it very difficult, and they turn the ball over here.
Oh, this is good work for Australia by Lily Brazel. Put the ball just over the sideline, so New Zealand will restart from inside their own 23.
Brilliant shave tackle there by Puris.
Yeah.
Got a ball across, open goal, goal!
Oh, that was wonderful work by Brooke Perez initially. And McLaren not able to control the ball, a little bit uncharacteristic when she got beaten for the ball. And the Hockeyroos go into the lead by 3-1.
Emily Hertz on the end of that one, so we see the shave tackle from Puris. Drags our defender. Keeper's got nothing to do. Emily Hertz.
Hertz finishes off, and the Hockey Roos take a 3-1 lead after just 4 minutes time, the New Zealand Black Sticks. Well, they'll be up further odds now because this is real alarm bell ringing time. They won't want to panic, but here's the Australians once more up the centre. Good work here from Stephanie Kershaw.
Kershaw's still going. Can she get a shot off?
It's a scramble in the goal mouth.
Very scrambly there. Grace O'Hanlon just having the ball stuck there in between her kickers. But crisis averted for New Zealand. As we can hear the instructions from Sean Dancer to go forward, not panic. And that's the key for the Vantage Black Sticks. They not need to panic.
Well, they need to score next. They know that.
Good way to start here with Kelsey Smith. She wins the free hit. We'll look to move the ball, use Anita McLaren. Get her involved in the game. Come back out to Brooke Neal. Across to Ella Gunson.
So here's the captain, just looking for McLaren, and found her. What can she do? She's got plenty of pace. She's one of the quickest in the country. The Black Sticks will come back to halfway to restart.
How much of a key role is Anita McLaren going to play here, Peter, in the second half?
Oh, she is a key, there's no doubt about it. She didn't really come into play until the Black Sticks pushed her really high in yesterday's game and gave her a little bit more space in the midfield. And yeah, she was able to bring the ball forward. So she's a real key. But the Australians, they'll be looking at keeping her under pressure and marking her pretty tightly, I'd say. They'll know that she's the key.
Yeah, well, she's going to have to get into the game very soon. 3-1 down. We've got 8 minutes remaining in the third quarter. And she's had limited opportunities, has Anita McLaren, who just can't control the ball on that occasion. And the Hockey Roos bring it forward once more. And Malone looking to get the ball, but taken away from Brooke Neal. Here's McLaren looking for support upfield.
Not quite the ball to be given there. Kelsey Smith was open on that left-hand flank. But I think, Paul, we'll start to see New Zealand stretch the field. We have the strikers up nice and high. Give Anita McLaren that room to move and weave her magic through that midfield.
You just wonder whether there's a little bit of early panic coming in now. You see the intensity, and here's a chance for Australia through Rosie Malone once more. Links nicely with her captain, Emily Smith, and Malone again, still going. Right on the edge of the circle.
She's asking the questions, Rose Malone, isn't she?
Oh, she's been impressive this afternoon. Just 20 years of age, made a debut earlier this year for the Hockey Roos against Spain. So she's only the youngster in the team, but by gee, she's showing some promise.
Australia have the ball here in the circle. Can they work something from it? Penalty corner time. Rosie Malone again asking the questions of the New Zealand defence.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen a better player on the field this afternoon than Malone. She's been...
And I think she's trying to stay here.
Well, she only scored her first international goal in the tournament here against Japan. And she's got another one today. And here's the penalty corner. 3-1, Australia lead. Midway through the third quarter here in Cromwell.
We've got Renee Taylor at the near bracket and Comfort at the far bracket. We've got the shot in.
Shot on from Edwina Bone, but
brilliantly well done there by Taryn Davey, first runner. She's still got her PT mask on though, so the vision will be a bit impaired. The mask gets thrown behind the goal. The onslaught's continuing.
Yeah, the pressure is still there. There's Ashley Fay. Fires it in, looking for Malone once more, who's in the thick of everything.
Ella Gunson will just look to slow things down. She's that into it. Kelly Hudson's had to move her back another couple steps out of that 5 metre zone.
So a chance now for New Zealand up that left wing flank.
Good piece of elimination there by Shiloh Gloin.
So they'll start from the back. Not great contact on that occasion, but New Zealand get another chance to play this in. Stephanie Dickens.
Good turn there by Kelsey Smith. Not quite able to get the call there from umpire Chico. Kelly Hudson just stepping in, making sure things are nice and calm. That ball hasn't gone 5, so Australia will get the free hit out. So we see the reinforcements arriving for the Australian girls, all wrapped up in their blankets.
We can't really blame them because it's got very chilly here now. That sun has disappeared behind the clouds. The temperature has dropped, but the intensity from the New Zealanders just need to rise more than what the temperature's dropping, really. So it's a chance for the Black Sticks, but they've turned it over. Closing in on the last 5 minutes of the third quarter. Australia 3, New Zealand 1.
Of course, the Australians are based at Perth out in Western Australia, so that won't be as cold as we are here today, will it, Paul?
Well, it would be an absolute contrast to what we're experiencing this afternoon. In fact, what the girls have experienced all week here, as Australia once more put some pressure inside the New Zealand circle.
Brooke Neal cleaning up the scraps again. She's had to do that all week. She's had a very good week, Brooke Neal.
So
Emily Hertz again.
Four minutes to go in this third quarter. The Australians taking a 2-1 lead into the half-time break, and then they've scored through Emily Hertz in this third quarter. The only scoring that we've seen. New Zealand going down 4-1 and 3-0 in the two earlier encounters in this tournament. Remember, it's the gold medalists versus the silver medalists at the Commonwealth Games, and it's the gold medalists that are under real pressure here at the moment.
So we see Sam Harrison getting back there on defence. Very well done.
So good work here by Ashley Fay.
Francis Davey with the tackle there.
We
see the ball through Gunson, through to Davies again. Kelsey Smith couldn't quite just control that one. I don't know if the girls are itching to get on the field because they want to play, or they're too cold just standing here, Paul.
I think they'd rather be out there than standing on the sideline at the moment with the temperature starting to drop. And here's a chance for New Zealand.
Well done. Maddie Dork, what can she make of Kristen Pearce? Australia win the free hit out.
It's been one of the few chances that the Black Sticks have been able to create in this third quarter, which has just over 2 minutes remaining in it. 3-1 Australia lead.
So we see the ball.
High ball here for Nobbs. Just not able to control it, so McLaren will restart.
Look to go in the air again, Maddie Dorr. Brilliant trap. Great first touch there from Maddie Dorr. Just snuffed out there by the Australian defence though. Ella Gunson coming forward to receive that ball.
So McLaren quickly takes it. Flicks it on. Rose Cadell.
Shiloh Gloin. Oh, unlucky. Straight onto the foot there, Shiloh Gloin. Australia survive as we tick down to 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter of the Pioneer Energy Tri-Nations tournament here in Cromwell.
So Australia just quite content to be patient. They know they take this 2-goal lead into the last couple of minutes of the third quarter.
Kelsey Smith can't quite bring that one under control, trying to move the ball without the ball there. I think PD, she just needs to set herself there, doesn't she?
Yeah, that's right. The Australians have put a really good press here onto the Vantage Black Sticks, which has denied them quality ball. And they just haven't been able to settle and get control of the game here. The Hockeyroos have done a wonderful job in this third quarter of denying the Black Sticks quality position.
So Gunson back to Neil, but it's been intercepted and coming away with it. Just put some more pressure on the Black Sticks.
Olivia Mary and Brooke Neal look to double team Hertz down there. Not quite to be though. As the ball comes out through Bates, the ball in. Goal!
4-1.
Missed the clean-up at the back there by Davies and Neal.
And that could well be game, set and match. 4-1 the Australia.
Over Gunson. And then Davies. And then the tap in on the far post. Fitzpatrick, I think, got on the end of that one. Sav Fitzpatrick. The 4-1 to the Hockeyroos.
So that's her second goal of the tournament. And that makes things just so much more difficult now for the Black Sticks to come back with seconds remaining in the third quarter. Australia 4, New Zealand 1. Well, we've seen magical things happen before, but not too often against one of the greatest sporting teams in the world. This three-time Olympic gold medal winning team from Australia have really taken it to the Black Sticks this afternoon and converted the opportunities. Here's Ella Gunson.
As we have three-quarter time here at the Cromwell Sports Turf.
And it's the Hockeyroos who take a comfortable lead in 4-1, 2 goals in that quarter for the Australians, and you just get the sense that it'll be desperate measures now needed to be taken by the New Zealand side. You talked about last night not keeping the goalkeeper in there. When do you bring the goalkeeper out?
Last night we brought the goalkeeper out with 6 minutes to go. It'll be interesting to see what Sean Dancer does here. We'll see if we bring him out nice and early tonight or not, but just depends on the scenario in the game. But two pretty soft goals there from Australia. New Zealand defence just not quite up to the challenge there as we look back at the replay. The first one by Emily Hertz. And the second one, Emily Hertz again creating the ball across to Bates. The bobbly ball should have been dealt with by the New Zealand defence really, but the tap in on the far post for Savannah Fitzpatrick, but pretty soft goals there, PD.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed with letting those ones in. That last one in particular just didn't quite handle the bobbly little ball there, and the Australians there just to pounce in and put it in again.
So it's all or nothing here for the Vantage Black Sticks in the final of the Pioneer Energy Tri-Nations here in Cromwell.
Well, you just get the impression that New Zealand made it difficult on themselves. That second quarter was where they really needed to take advantage of the opportunities they created, and you get the sense now, or I do anyhow, that the Australians are just playing a very composed, very patient game where they're slowing it down a little bit. They'll be keen to just retain possession and not really try and create too many opportunities through risky play.
Exactly, Paul. You'll see Australia hold on to the ball here for the majority of this fourth quarter if they can, but New Zealand is going to throw everything at them here. So as we hear the crowd starting to get into it here in Cromwell.
15 minutes remaining. Australia lead New Zealand by 4-1. And the restart for New Zealand through Kelsey Smith.
Look to see Olivia Mary and Sam Harrison play very high in this last quarter. Try and stretch the field, asking questions of this Australian defence.
So Gunson moving it wide and not able to get it was Harrison. So Taryn Davey.
Finds Cadell.
Back to Davey.
It'll be a long corner for New Zealand. Ella Gunson on the ball. Got a ball into Kelsey Smith. Couldn't quite get that squeeze shot off there. And Australia breaking out. Kelsey Smith back in defence.
Well, this is where Australia is so dangerous, as they just broke away through Stephanie Kershaw, who's been dangerous all afternoon.
So we see umpire Hudson just stopping time. Kershaw might have had something to say about that tackle from Kelsey Smith, but nobody questions Kelly Hudson.
Well, it'll be a bit different for Stephanie Kershaw. She's born in Townsville, so imagine coming from Townsville to Cromwell. The temperature change is dramatic.
40 degrees to -4.
Yeah, it's almost that. the Australians once more.
Oh, Emily Smith, well done there on the baseline. Brooke Neal.
They're not out of trouble yet, though.
Very well done there by Emily Smith. Her bench is very happy of her effort down there.
So the Australians back from the 23-metre line. Just not able to get the combinations going, but they won't worry too much. They look at the scoreboard and they see that the Hockeyroos lead by 4-1, 13 minutes to go. And again, creating some more pressure.
Kelsey Smith there. What can she create? Shiloh Gloin with the counter-attack here.
She's got McLaren inside her.
Look how high we've got Sam Harrison and Olivia Mary. Can we find somebody?
She's still
in the
going.
circle.
Oh, good work
No,
for Gloin.
she hasn't passed the ball. She's been tackled.
She just ran out of options. I think maybe she needed to let that go a little bit earlier.
A little bit earlier, yeah. 4 options there in the circle. Just holding on the ball a little too long there, Shiloh Gloin. It's a genuine opportunity going bigging for the Vantage Black Sticks here.
So Renee Taylor takes it very quickly indeed. Brooke Perez. Hey, oh, it's a goal, is it?
No, just out of reach of Emily Smith. Almost. Brilliant ball in there. Emily Smith couldn't quite get on the end of that one. Look,
So McLaren
aerial.
up the
Brilliant ball.
right touch.
Olivia Mary, nice and high.
Oh, just not able to find the support players coming through.
It's taken a touch, so the Vantage Black Sticks will still have the ball. Through Cadell.
So McLaren, she's been on the field a lot, but hasn't seen as much of the action as I'm sure the Black Sticks would have liked her to have been in.
They've moved her into that right half role, so hopefully we can have a lot more of those area balls up the sideline. Make some opportunities here for the Vantage Black Sticks.
She's so quick. She could run 100 metres faster than we could collectively after 50 metres each. 11.72 seconds is the fastest time for 100 metres. But she just hasn't seen much of the action this afternoon go her way.
As we look to find her.
Here she is.
Nita
Here's
McLaren
McLaren now.
Good wee ball in. Olivia Mary. Oh,
She's the highest goal scorer in New Zealand women's hockey history with 103 goals. But she hasn't got one this afternoon, and I'm sure the Black Sticks would dearly love something from her right now.
if there's ever a time.
Here's
However, we're turned over here in the midfield, and Australia look to counter-attack.
Oh, good work.
Brilliant
Up the
pace here.
middle, Renee Taylor.
Fitzpatrick's there on the inside. Couldn't quite find her, though, as the ball comes out to Maddie Dorr.
So time ticks by, 11 minutes remain. Australia 4, New Zealand 1. Those 2 goals in the third quarter for Australia has really split this game open. And the Australians in no hurry to restart.
Olivia Mary turning that ball over.
So Kershaw goes
Well
down.
done.
Back onto her feet again. And here's a chance for Australia.
Through Bates.
Yeah, Bates up the left side. Sav Fitzpatrick there as well, but New Zealand will take it away through McLaren. Just not able to find support.
She wins the ball back on the sideline, though, doesn't Nita McLaren?
So Davey will restart.
Rose Cadell, the good open receive there. Pretty poor tackles from the Australians.
Here's another chance for the Australians too. Renee Taylor finding support in the form of Grace Stewart.
The Australians just swamping on our centre half there, aren't they, Rose Cadell? Turned the ball over the last 3 times there, PD.
Yeah, they're pressing up. They'll know that the Black Sticks have tried to stretch this game out, so they need to compress the midfield and just not let that ball come through there, because that's what the Black Sticks are looking to do, and that's where they were dominant last night in the end eventually.
Kershaw.
And yeah, Hockeyroos are up to the task so far.
We see that great turn from Kershaw on the replay. That reverse shot over the top.
Well, you're seeing some of the experience from the Australians now really starting to show through. They know they've just got to control the ball, count the clock down. They've got this game sewn up with 4-1. They've got plenty of players in there. Parise, Hertz, Wells, Kenny, McMahon, Bone and Smith have all played more than to show now. So New Zealand have really struggled to get into the action too much in this fourth quarter. And once more, the Australians just take it down. Caitlin Nobbs.
As we see Bates, a good bit of elimination skill along that right-hand touchline.
She's been good this afternoon, hasn't she, Christina Bates?
She's taken that head knock. She's playing with a broken nose.
She made a debut in New Zealand in the Hawke's Bay event in 2017. So she'll be one that will be looking for a name to be mentioned when the World Cup squads are named in about 3 weeks' time by the Australians. The New Zealand team named in just a week's time. 18 players named to head away. And, of course, in that pool, both New Zealand and Australia, pool 4, along with Japan and Belgium. Davey restarts. McLaren back to Davey. But again, the Australian defence is up to it. They have been good when the pressure has come on this afternoon. 7 minutes remaining. 4-1. The Hockeyroos lead the Black Sticks.
Emily Hertz there down the left-hand side. We'll try and use a good piece of skill here. We've got a ball across.
Lovely
it's a
cross.
Brilliant ball across.
Just not able to find Bates coming through.
He's almost slid and taken out Kelly Hudson there.
It was a desperate move, but the Australians will be comforted by the fact they look at the scoreboard and they know that they've been able to prevent the New Zealand team from creating real pressure.
So look to use Rosie Cadell here in the midfield. Pretty poor tackles coming in from the Australians here.
You just wonder, 22 hours from the start of the last game, that's the minimum period of time that you can have between one game and the next game starting. Does that affect the girls in terms of energy and intensity to recover within the space of that 22-hour period?
Yeah, I think it will, Paul. They've had a big week of hockey here. Played each team in the pool twice, along with the Vantage Black Sticks playing East Quarter pretty strong. And then again, the second half has been all Australia, hasn't it?
Well, the Australians have certainly dominated all week after beating the Black Sticks 4-1 and 3-0. It's 4-1 at the moment. We're closing into the last 6 minutes of this Tri-Nations Pioneer Energy Series. And the Black Sticks looking for a consolation late goal inside the Australian circle. But again, the Hockeyroos show their experience and can get out of trouble once more.
Christina Bates again, Paul. Had another strong game today.
Yeah, she's been good this afternoon, Christina Bates. Born in Port Melbourne, just 22 years of age, so plenty of youth amongst this Australian side, mixed with some very experienced players. And of course the captain this afternoon, Emily Smith, playing her 200th match. What a way to celebrate it. Wonder what she'll do this evening to celebrate that. They'll sit and relax. They've got a dinner tonight, both these teams together, where they will have the Tri-Nations trophy presented to them. But she can be very pleased with the efforts of this team. They've turned the tables from the Gold Coast, where the Black Sticks.
We see Olivia Mary with the ball across.
Oh, it's a good shot, just a little wide. Well, the New Zealanders need something quickly. 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining.
It'll be bittersweet for the Australians, won't it? Wee bit of payback from the Gold Coast.
I'm sure they would prefer the Commonwealth Games gold because they have been so good in the past. They won at the Olympics in 1988 and 1996 and 2000 in Sydney. You know, they have been an impressive team. They won 2 World Cups in 94 and 98, 4 Commonwealth Games gold medals in total in 98, 2006, 2010 and 2014. Somewhat of a surprise not to win on their home turf, but the Black Sticks take nothing away from them as the Australians one more time. And here's a chance. Fitzpatrick looking for, whoa, well saved.
Great save there by Grace O'Hanlon and goal.
It's not over yet.
Fitzpatrick. Good bit of skill there by Sav Fitzpatrick. Still danger times here for the Kiwis. Still can't clear off our line. Oh, just wide. Great save there again by Grace O'Hanlon. The Kiwi defenders just not clearing their line. off that original save of Grace O'Hanlon, giving Australia a sniff, which is not what we need to do here.
So here's Jodie Kenny.
Great piece of skill there with Jodie Kenny.
Most experienced player in this Australian team. She's 201st match for her this afternoon, a long way away from Madonna Blythe, who's got 342 games, the most ever by an Australian woman. But she has got over 100 goals, just one of 4 Australian women to have scored a century of goals. Is again good pressure from the Australians, but they concede possession, and New Zealand, with 3 minutes on the clock, will look to try and launch another attack.
Kelsey Smith can't quite get on the end of that one.
Another youngster with plenty of experience under her belt, Kelsey Smith. But here is Stewart for Australia.
Good burst of pace.
Oh, lovely ball as well, but just a little bit too far.
Maddie Dorr not able to control that one. As Australia.
Kalindi Comerford takes it away initially.
Brooke Neal with another good tackle. Good piece of skill there by Rosie Cadell. She'll look to find Kelsey Smith. And she just about does, but just over the top of Kelsey Smith's stick.
2 minutes remaining. 4-1. The Australians lead.
So we hear Sam Harrison calling for a full press here. This is all or nothing now for the Vantage Black Sticks. And they find a brilliant exit out to Christina Bates again. Australia have a 2-on-2 here. It was snuffed out there by Francis Davies.
Tuilota Lava finding Smith. Deflection.
Deflected out by Australia there.
So Tuilota Lava will take this. Oh no, she won't. It'll be Gunson who'll come up onto the 23-metre line and try and salvage something. It'll be too little, it'll be too late, but it might be a consolation goal if the Black Sticks can get one back.
We tick down to just about a minute to go here in the fourth quarter. We've got time off here. Back underway here. Australia with the 16. We'll look at aerial again. Brilliant ball out of defence there by Kenny again. Showing her experience, throw the ball down the other end. Not quite what Japan could do last night, but we're here now and Australia have taken a lead 4-1 with just under a minute to go in the Tri-Nations final here in Cromwell.
Right, here's Jodie Kenny. Not able to keep the ball in play.
Rosie Cadell just tells her to leave the ball alone. She wanted the ball.
Things just not gelling here for the Vantage Black Sticks, and
ball comes back out here to Ella Gunson. Over the top to Shiloh Gloin. Brilliant trap there by Grace Stewart.
So the last few seconds of this match remain as we count down. The siren will go for full time very soon, and the Australians will be the victors in this Pioneer Energy Tri-Nations.
Here we go, 4-1 the final score here in Cromwell. The Hockeyroos over the Vantage Black Sticks here in the final of the Tri-Nations tournament here in Cromwell. A bittersweet moment for Australia, claiming back that title that was lost in the Gold Coast.
Yes, and the scoreline as well, 4-1. The Australians this afternoon with goals to Rosie Malone, Emily Hertz, Jodie Kenny and Savannah Fitzpatrick. For New Zealand, Samantha Harrison got the sole goal, which came in the second quarter. Australia led 1-0 after the first quarter, 2-1 at the half-time break, but then scored 2 vital goals in the third quarter. It was shut the gate at that stage, and the Australians have been victorious here in Cromwell for the Tri-Nations series against the Vantage Black Sticks, and they've won by 4 goals to 1.
Yes, there we have it. What a wonderful week of hockey we've had down here in Cromwell, though. The locals have loved it. The businesses have loved it. We'll just bring PD back in. PD. Australia had the better of that second half, didn't they?
Well, story of the week really. The Hockeroos just completely dominant all week and just shown it again in the final with a 4-1 result there. Really strong performance all week and looking great.
Exactly. New Zealand did have the better of that second quarter, and that could have gone any other way if we scored another goal there at the start of that second quarter. Who knows what would have happened, but not to be, as Australia took a 2-1 lead into the break, coming out with 2 further tap-in goals here in the second half of the Pioneer Energy Tri-Nations final. So Australia taking out the final 4-1. A bittersweet moment for them and their management, I feel, Paul. Taking one back from the Gold Coast. It's no com games, but it's a wee bit of revenge, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. It's always good to get a win against your nemesis team, and they'll be taking a lot of confidence from that, and they'll meet each other again at the World Cup. They're in the same pool.
Exactly. We're just going to head downstairs in just a minute. Paul Ellison's going to try and get a few words from both skippers, I believe. But no, an amazing week of hockey, hasn't it? Cromwell has put it on for us. The weather not quite. We've had -3 and snow. We got to a high of 8 degrees today. It's a tournament high. But no, what a wonderful week it's been down here. A big thank you to all the people involved. Central Otago Hockey, Central Otago Sports Trust, Colin French down there. He's had a brilliant week, the Hedgehog man. Vantage, the TAB. It's been a wonderful week. But no, the Vantage Black Sticks will now head into next week with a squad naming of 18 for the World Cup in London in just 6 weeks' time, where they'll meet Australia again along with Belgium and Japan in Pool 4. Looks like Paul's got Emily Smith down there with them. So we'll wait till he's ready and we'll see if we can get some words from the Victoria's skipper in her 200th game today. So a big congratulations to Emily Smith and also to Frances Davies, who played her 50th game. But we'll head down to Paul.
Oh, very proud.
Allison down on the sideline now.
That was my 200th game, so very special. The girls presented me with a video before the game, so it inspired myself and everyone to go out there and really put in a good performance. Obviously, after the Com Games, we were disappointed that we got the silver medal and couldn't perform under the pressure game, so we're using this as a chance to improve and practice playing in finals and working out how we can win when the pressure's on.
So what did you do differently than you did in Australia?
Oh, I probably can't tell you guys that because we've got the New Zealand's coming up against us in the World Cup, so we're just testing a few things. But yeah, what we did today, we did change our tactics a little bit and I think it worked, but yeah, we'll go home and review that and see what happens going into the World Cup.
All right, well, you've got New Zealand and you've got Japan and you've got Belgium all in the same pool. What did you take out of this tournament in terms of learnings?
Yeah, huge preparation for us. It was a great opportunity to come up against such quality teams and to do it in this freezing weather and to have such good crowds supporting us. It was awesome to be here. We've been well looked after here in Cromwell and we appreciate everyone who came out and watched us play.
Well, it's a little bit chilly and it's a bit smaller than probably where you are in Perth now, but in terms of where you were brought up in Crookwell, I mean, it's very similar, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So Crookwell, Cromwell, I think this is like the New Zealand equivalent of my hometown, tiny country town. We don't even have a synthetic turf. We play on the grass there. So this is a home away from home for me and I've loved being back in the country, as I call it, and I've really enjoyed my time here.
What do you think of the surface? Because this is the only surface in New Zealand that's the same as Rio.
Oh, really? Yeah, the ground is incredible. The facilities for such a small town, it's a credit to everyone that I heard chipped in and got this turf here. So well done to those people, and I'm glad that we could bring our favourite sport to this country.
So what are you going to do tonight to celebrate your 200th game?
Probably not too much. Might have my parents did give me a bottle of champagne, so I might have a sneaky glass, but yeah, not too much. We've got the World Cup that is our main focus and that's where we want to perform, so it'll be all business from now until then.
Congratulations, you've had a great tournament and well done, all the best for the World Cup.
Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is Emily Smith, the captain of the Australian team. Now we've got Ella Gunson. Ella, I guess commiserations first and foremost. What have you taken out of this week?
Yeah, we've learnt a lot from this week. There's a lot of things that we need to improve on and tighten up. It's quite disappointing to see our defensive effort this tournament because we're usually really tight back there. So we've got a lot of work to do there.
So in terms of what happened at the Commonwealth Games, how much did you feel that this was different from there?
Yeah, we've got a little bit of a different team, so it was always going to be a bit different. Just those connections, those very strong connections we had at the Com Games we didn't quite have here, but at the end of the day we're all very good hockey players, so we need to put out a better performance.
How cold are you?
Oh, not too bad. I didn't really get much time off the field, so I'm quite warm still.
All right, it's a big week next week. I understand the team is being named to go to the World Cup. How difficult will it be for the selectors?
I'm not sure, you might have to ask them. I think we've everyone's proved a good point and tried really hard, so yeah, I guess they'll have a bit of thinking to do.
All right, well, all the very best. You're going to see these teams all over again at the World Cup when you've got the same pool.
Yeah, we do. Japan and Aussie are in our pool, so that was quite interesting, and I guess we had to think about that during the week too. We didn't want to give too much away while still playing our game, so yeah, it'll be good to meet them there again at the World Cup.
All right, well, it wasn't the result that you wanted, I know, but you almost pulled a rabbit out of the pocket last night, didn't you?
Yeah, we did, and we put out a really good fight last night, and we just couldn't follow that up today. Credit to Aussie, they played very well and outplayed us today.
So how hard is it to back up 22 hours later?
It is tough, and especially with the big effort that we did put in last night, but again, that's not an excuse. We needed to be more solid in our structures.
All right, well, all the best for the World Cup, Emily, and I hope you've enjoyed your time in the Deep South.
Thank you very much, and we have really enjoyed our time here. Thank you so much to the Cromwell crowd. You guys have been fantastic and have really helped us out through the week.
Oh, there we are, Ella Gunson, captain of the Vantage Black Sticks. And that's it from us here in Cromwell. And I hope you've enjoyed the coverage wherever you've been around the world. Thanks very much. The Hockeyroos have won the Pioneer Energy Tri-Nations by 4-1 against the Vantage Black Sticks.
Coverage of the Pioneer Energy Tri-Nations Women's Hockey is presented by Pioneer Energy, Central Otago District Council, TAB, and Vantage Windows and Doors.